Hi everyone, so today I'm going to be showing you how to create this really cute nail look inspired by Halloween. It's really quick and easy, so if you're looking for something to wear this weekend, then keep watching. Okay, so for this tutorial you are going to need a base coat. I'm using OPI's Ridge Filler because it's really good if your nails are in bad condition like mine and need smoothing out. It gives you a really nice smooth surface. You're also going to need an orange nail polish. I'm using Barry M's Tangerine, which has a little bit of shimmer in it. You're going to need any plain black nail polish. I'm using one from Miss Sporty, and any plain white nail polish. I'm using one from Kiss. You're also going to need a green nail polish. This one's from Topshop. And finally, an optional extra is a sparkly top coat. This one is actually from Orly. It's called Shine On Crazy Diamond, and it's just gorgeous. I think it just adds that little extra something. You're also going to need a orange stick cocktail stick or a nail art tool. I'm just using an orange stick for this, and I've already painted my nails with one coat of OPI Ridge Filler, one coat of the Barry M Tangerine, and then finally one coat of the Orly Shine On Crazy Diamond, just to create a base for the nail art that we're going to be doing, and it looks like this, very pretty and sparkly. So I'm going to start off by taking some of the black nail polish and just dotting a little bit on the page there, and then I'm just going to zoom in so that you can see a little bit better. So taking the orange stick, I'm just going to be drawing a circle. Now the first nail art that we're going to be creating is a spider, so this is going to create the body of the spider. And you're going to need to make the circle small, but not too small, because we still have to fit all 8 legs of the spider on there. So once you've done this, you just want to start creating the legs. You want to use 2 stroke motions to do this, so do one side of the leg and then the other side of the leg. And you want to do 4 on either side, so it's actually got 8 legs. And you want to try and make them quite thin as well, because if you make them any thicker, then they'll go a bit blotchy. So once you've done that, we're just going to move on to the next nail, and this is going to be a pumpkin. So we're going to start by drawing the 2 triangular eyes, and we're going to put a straight line down the middle, and then another line at 45 degrees to that, and then just fill in the gap, like so. And you can go back and make the kind of points of the triangle a little bit sharper if you need to as well, just like I'm doing now, so just make it a little bit more pointed in the corners. And then once you've done both of those, we're going to move on to the mouth of the pumpkin, and you can kind of make it up as you go along like any actual pumpkin you would make, but I'm just doing a classic kind of zigzaggy mouth, and I'm just starting by doing the actual zigzag at the top and then taking it out in a straight line at the end. And then once you've finished your zigzag shape, you can actually start filling in the bottom of the mouth. And instead of having zigzags at the bottom, I'm just using a kind of curved smile shape so that it gives it that effect of the pumpkin actually smiling at you rather than just being scary. It's kind of a happy pumpkin. So once we finish the smiley mouth, we're going to move on to the next nail, and this one is going to be a bat. So I'm going to start by just drawing a small circle in the center of the nail, and this is going to be smaller than the circle we did for the spider. After that, I'm just going to add 2 little bat ears onto the top, just little straight lines. It's so tiny that you can barely see. I'm also going to add the wings. Now the wings are going to be pretty huge in comparison to the body, so I'm just going to start by taking the black polish kind of in a curved line straight upwards, and then bringing it down the sides of the wings and curving out a little bit there, going into a point at the bottom. And once I've done the first point, I'm just going to bring it back up and then make another point at the bottom, like so. And then once you finish the basic shape of the bat wing, you just want to start filling it in with black polish. And then once you've done one side, you just want to repeat the exact same shape on the other side and then fill that in too. So once we've done the basic shape of the bat, we're going to move on to the next nail, which is going to say boo on it. And this is where the cocktail stick is actually really important, because we don't want it to be too neat. We don't want it to look kind of like neat handwriting. You want it to be kind of a spooky handwriting. So I'm just using really small kind of dabbing motions to create that kind of spooky looking handwriting. And you can actually do this facing towards you or away from you. I've chosen it to be facing away from me, but it's all totally personal choice. So I'm just going to do the O's in the same kind of dabbing motions, and I usually do the second O a little bit smaller than the first one as well. So once you've done that, we're going to move on to the final nail, and this is going to be a cobweb. So we want to take straight lines from one corner of the nail, and you can do it from whichever corner you want to. And I'm going to make about 4 of these lines. And they don't have to be particularly straight. I mean, if you want to make them very, very straight, you can use a nail brush if you want to, but I kind of like having them a little bit wobbly because after all it is Halloween and everything's a little bit creepy. Once I've done that, I'm just going to start doing the little half moon shapes in between the lines to create that webbed effect. So I'm going to take these in between each of the lines, and then once I've done the first layer, I'm also going to do the second layer, so it's going to be about halfway in the lines like so. So once we've done that, you can kind of see the basic shapes of each nail, and they're looking cute already. But next I'm just going to add a little bit more detail to them using my white polish, and I'm going to be using the same cocktail stick, and on the spider I'm just going to create 2 tiny little eyes just to bring him to life there. And then moving on to the pumpkin, it's a little bit more complicated. I'm going to create, you know, the ridges that pumpkins have in between, they're kind of like their bumps. I'm going to create little tiny lines going vertically down the pumpkin face, and these want to be a little bit curved as well, just to create the illusion that it is a round pumpkin. So I'm going to do about 4 of these lines, maybe 5, and once I've done with that, you'll be able to see the kind of effect that it gives. It makes the pumpkin look a little bit more round. So once I've done that, moving on to the bat, I'm going to add some eyes to the bat as well, and I really want his eyes to be big, so I'm going to make them kind of maybe a quarter of the size of his body, which seems silly, but it makes him kind of look really cute and cartoonish as well. Moving on to the boo, I'm just going to add 2 little eyes into the O's there, so they look kind of like peekaboo eyes. And then on the spider web, I'm just going to add a tiny little bit of white onto one side of each of the straight lines that we drew in the first place. Finally, I'm just going to add a little bit of green onto the pumpkin as well, so it just looks like his little stem. It actually kind of makes it look like his hair as well, so I kind of like this step. I'm going to add a little bit of green there using the cocktail stick, and then as a final step, I'm going to add a little bit of the Orly holographic glitter top coat. And that finishes off the look. So I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. Please let me know if anyone tries it out at home. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. And if you'd like to check out my last video, then click here. Bye guys!